that I have given a lot of thought to the clean slate, how I really want my Facebook groups, my Facebook business groups to look, and what I'd like the team culture to be like. What kinds of changes, do I want to make? And now's the time to make those desired changes, however big or small they might be. And what sort of changes will my team benefit from the most down the line in the future? It's a lot to think about, but it's very, very important to give it a lot of thought and figure out how you want things to look down the line. So what I wanted to talk about in this video in particular is that I decided that from here on out that I'm going to apply a no tolerance policy for not only negativity, but also for venting, here and now, and in all the groups that, that I have, my team page, I'm going to do the same thing. That is going to be the new policy. And simply put, I'll tell you why. It helps nobody. That's the easy answer. But I also want to share the logic behind that decision, because it carries a lot of weight. And I can say with 100% certainty that from this day forward, this is something that I promise you and I promise myself I will not budge on whatsoever. And, within the business groups that I run anyways, it's a must. Because there truly is no benefit whatsoever to allowing it. There's not. And in a way, it does a big disservice to my team members, your team members, to allow it. Even if it's rare, it's not okay. And, it's not an optimism magnet. It's not a happiness magnet. It's the opposite, actually, and it doesn't feel good, So I believe that, people visit a work Facebook group for the purpose of gaining something positive, inspiration, ideas, solutions. And, there's a really important thing here that is, on the top of my mind with this, is that every work Facebook group has those brand new team members who are just full of excitement and enthusiasm, and negativity and venting, it will deplete some of that. And it can do so in an instant. That person could have been way up here, and then they read that, and then all of a sudden they're way down here. And it takes a lot more to get that back up to where it needs to be, as opposed to vice versa. So, the value of enthusiasm is huge when it comes to being successful, especially in our industry. And I want every group to just be full of as much excitement and enthusiasm as possible, really. And so right now I feel the urgency to implement that, right away. On the new team page, on any other new group that we have, that I am running, that you are in maybe, or maybe you're not in it, definitely in leadership groups. I just want big things to happen for my business, for your business, for every person on the whole team, everywhere, and I would like to eliminate anything that's unnecessary, that will stand in the way of those big things happening in the big future that's coming. And our mission, it takes away from that. It really does. So that's kind of how I view negativity and venting posts in in business Facebook groups, because it's just a block to enthusiasm and a block to the vision. So, of course, there will be some concerns, and I've predicted a couple of those concerns, and I'll address them right off the bat here in this video. Perfect timing to do that. The first one is that censorship is bad, right? Sure. And the second one is maybe that oftentimes those negative posts or events, they end up turning into a positive and teaching, because people are always going to want to get into that conversation and try to turn things around and make them positive, because deep down that's what we all want, and that's what we all want to gain from a work business Facebook group like this. So those concerns are absolutely valid, 100% valid. And even still, they still very much outweigh the negative impacts that it can have. And just to give you some examples of what those might be, negative posts and events, they're total enthusiasm like squashers, like we just talked about, right? And also they plant seeds of doubt in people, and that goes for your team members or other leaders, your fellow leaders, team members that might be in the group, your fellow leaders themselves, and especially brand new consultants. Like I said, that can really plant a seed of doubt that they never had before. Also, keep in mind that it's just a big waste of time for those who are attempting to reverse the post and make it, end on a positive note. And nobody wants their time to be wasted. You don't want your time wasted, right? I know this. So this is going to be, more time efficient for sure. And it's going to help everybody on every level, trust me. And of course, when we are the leader of our own group, page, whatnot, ultimately we get to make those decisions. It's really cool. So if a leader down the line in the future might disagree, they can always create their own group, and they can run things exactly how they want to run them. And that's their choice, their business, their team. So, and in fact, another thing, we're implementing that right now as we speak, in the future, to encourage new team leaders when they promote to set that goal after Leader Story Continued, after those first 3 months, to set the goal to start their own small team page. And that way, it's really going to promote team building and growing their team and being strong and independent. And it's going to be an amazing team culture that we can bring when new leaders promote down the line. So, I'm being very firm about this, but I'm doing it for very good reasons. My intentions here are to help all of you and to help all of our team members, because, I care. I do. I really care. And you're all amazing. And we have an amazing future, and we need to protect that with all that we can. You deserve it. The most positive and productive, inspiring work environment and atmosphere as possible. So, also, ultimately it is our responsibility as a team leader at Usborne Books and More to support our home office. And, the weight that we have within our own teams, within, when we're in front of team members of our fellow leaders too, when we're in a leadership group type setting, and just all together when we are representing the company as a whole. period. So private messaging your direct upline team leader. If you need to vent, or vent privately with an Aussie buddy, that's what Aussie buddies are for. Or better yet, you can vent to a non-Aussie buddy friend, They're a completely unbiased party in the equation, so you can do that and it won't affect them in any way, shape, or form. Well, don't vent to a ton of people and about Usborne, because then that affects your business as a whole. But you know what I mean, one of your close friends that you can talk to. That became our responsibility the moment we signed that team leadership agreement. When we decided that we wanted to be a team leader, we made that decision and took on that responsibility to have our home offices back and to be positive and be supportive of our home office. And, think of it like this. Would we stand up in a room full of people in the office at our workplace, like our in-person real workplace? We stand up in front of everybody and vent to all of our coworkers about the things that we didn't like or the things that we disagreed with and how the company was doing things, or in regards to a specific policy or decision that they made. Or maybe would we vent about something that a client did that was super frustrating, or our manager or our coworker? Of course not. We wouldn't do that. No way, right? We'd probably lose our job. So just about any other scenario that you can think of, where a person may or may not vent about in this workplace that we are in, there's a parallel scenario to compare it with as far as an in-person workplace. So the same applies to every workplace, and it applies to our UBAM workplace. So I also want to say that I do sincerely apologize myself to you, to all of you, for not applying this no tolerance policy for negativity and venting right from the get-go, everywhere in all the groups, not just on the team page, here in the leadership group too. Because I once did feel that maybe it could be okay to just be able to let it all out, as long as if it was done only among team leaders. I felt that way before, but no, not anymore. And the beauty of this thing is that it's been one of the many lessons learned along the leadership journey. And now I know, So now's the opportunity to make the changes that this team really needs to see, and what they really need to rise to shine. That's my new team's name. So we are Retiring Successories, and the team will be Rise to Shine. I love it. So from this day forward, negative posts or events will be deleted from our shared workplaces. So that's the basis of what I'm getting at here. So now you guys know too, and I give you full discretion to also do the same. If you see anything in any of our shared groups, you also have the right to just go ahead and delete that post so that it doesn't bring others down with it. A couple quotes that really bring this home. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if we can't help them, at least don't hurt them. Quoted by the Dalai Lama. And finally, consider this. Being positive won't guarantee you'll succeed, but being negative will guarantee you won't. Check out video number 2 for a quick explanation and some verbiage to use for how you can implement this on your teams too.